Great morning. If you are just jumping in, I appreciate you guys for coming on board. Teresa, thank you for jumping in. Z, good to see you all the way from Jacksonville in the building. Karen, good to see you. Good to see you. Teresa, great to see you. Karen, good to see you. Y'all do me a favor, real huge favor, and share this out to as many people as possible. Welcome to Breakfast with the Brookses.
Welcome to Breakfast with the Brooks. If you are new to our channel, thank you for joining us this morning. Please subscribe and be sure to ring the bell so that you get notifications. No singing.
Ring my bell.
No, ring the bell.
My bell.
So you
Ring-a-ling-a-ling.
ring the bell so you get notifications of when we go live and when we upload new videos.
Yeah.
Please share this out this morning. We're gonna have a good talk this morning.
We're gonna give a talk. Can we show our face this morning, babe? Can we just show our face? 3, 2, 1. I know that's the cartoon version, but here we go. Great morning, everybody.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with the Brookses. For those of you guys who don't know, my name's Glenn P. Brooks Jr. I am an author. I am a speaker. I am a coach. And this lovely light-skinned young lady with the kind of red lipstick on today is
Cherie Brooks Jr., author, speaker, relationship, and life balance coach. Great to be with you guys this morning on this lovely Saturday morning in October of 2019.
Yeah, October is coming in. It's getting cool.
The weather changed. I woke up this morning, guys, and it was dark at 6 o'clock.
Right, and you're like, oh my God.
And I'm like, what time is it?
What time is it really?
What is going on? Like, why is it still so dark? And so I hate this time of year, but I love the change.
Yeah.
I love watching the leaves change. But the time thing throws me off for a minute.
It throws her off. Listen, real quick, speaking of throwing us off, right here at the top of the show, I just want to let everybody know we're getting ready to go live on Instagram. Y'all hang tight for a quick second and just let's welcome our Instagram community. But listen, if you are not following us on Instagram, guys, go to Instagram. We are at Breakfast with the Brookses. Just spell it all the way out. We would love for you to follow us there, but hang tight. Let's welcome them to the community. What's going on, Instagram? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Breakfast with the Brookses. For those of you guys who don't know, my name's Glenn P. Brooks Jr. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm a coach. And this beautiful, light-skinned young lady that sometimes don't look at y'all because she's focused on YouTube, she's not being disrespectful, is
Cherie Brooks Jr. I'm also an author, speaker, and relationship coach.
Welcome,
guys.
I threw her right off.
Welcome, Instagram. Great to see you guys this morning.
Yes, we're going to be drilling down and picking up on part 2. If you was with us last week, then you'll understand. If you weren't, Instagram, do me a huge favor. Go to the link in the bio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Guys, we are trying our best to get to 500 subscribers before the end of the year. And so we need y'all's help doing that. So on YouTube, we're trying to get to 500 subscribers. Do us a favor, please. If you are on this feed and you have not subscribed, do so right now. Dare to love him. I appreciate you for jumping on. Do me a favor. Click the arrow at the bottom of the screen so that you can share this out. And give us your government name,
and
Instagram.
Where you joining us from?
Right.
What city, what country?
Because y'all jokers be going incognito. I'm like, why don't they want people to know who they are? I don't know. I don't get it.
They're in the witness protection plan.
Witness protection. That's what it is. That's what, my bad. In that case, don't give me your government. So listen, guys, if you were here last week, put a 1 in the chat. If you were not here, put a 2 in the chat. If you were here what are you doing?
You said put a 1.
Right, but I just saw 3 jump up.
I did 1, then I did 2.
That's what it was. You doing more hands. So if you were here last week, put a 1 in the chat. If you were not here last week, put a 2 in the chat. We're going to do a brief recap, but this is part 2 on how to pick a permanent partner. And that is the question.
And this,
speaking of partner, I forgot to put my ring on, but it's all love.
It's okay. This talk was motivated by one of our members of the MAPS community who, when she came into the singles group, shared that her picker was off.
No, it was broken.
Her picker was broken.
Yeah, let's get that right.
Her picker was broken.
What's going on, Russ?
And so based on that, it motivated us to decide to have this talk.
Yeah.
We talked about it something more in detail within the group.
Yeah.
But wanted to share this out with general people, and people are like, "What, your picker?"
Yeah.
Your picker? What's your picker?
So listen, if you are single, you'll understand this. First of all, before we get all the way into that, we just want to say welcome to, again, our folks on Instagram. Welcome if you're just chiming in on YouTube. Again, we're Glenn P. Brooks Jr.,
We are.
I am Glenn P. Brooks Jr. That is Cherie Brooks Jr. We're authors, we're speakers, we're coaches. Every week we go live here on Breakfast with the Brookses. The goal is to share tips, strategies, and next steps. What can you do to grow a healthy relationship? And one of the ways that we do that on an ongoing basis. You okay, babe?
Yeah, I'm having
You a little shifting? You was doing a little shifting?
No, I'm having
a
private moment.
Okay, I'm sorry. No,
it's not so private because it's on.
Because I just went, I just put you up.
On.
Oh, I got you, ladies. Y'all understand. Cherie is over 50. And so she's having a little private moment. So God bless America. So listen, anyway, real quick. I got so sidetracked.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, what I want you guys to understand is that every single week we get the opportunity to add value to people who are trying to grow their relationships on purpose with great intentionality. We do that inside of what we call the MAPS Relationship Academy. It is an online group coaching platform where we have 5 different group coaching rooms that people come in. They're private. It's a subscription-based type deal where you come in consistently every week. We have a couples room. They meet on Tuesdays at 7. We have a parenting room that meet on Tuesdays at 8:30.
Then on Thursdays, we have a singles group that meets every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. And then on Sundays, we meet. I have a group. I meet with the ladies at 5:30 p.m. every Sunday, and Glenn meets with the men on Sundays at 7 p.m.
Yep. So,
as he said, these are online groups. It's an online private community where you get to come in. We talk about different topics, dealing with relationships, dealing with, depending on the group, like with the parenting group, we deal with issues related to parenting, dealing with whether it's co-parenting,
you name it, any kind of parenting,
you know, traditional family dynamics, whatever. If you have adult children, we deal with issues with that.
Yeah.
It's helping people be able to navigate some of the challenges that people face. For the singles group, that group gets live.
Let me tell you something right now. Out of all the groups we got, that singles group is the livest group we got, I think.
Right.
Them jokers come in there with their pens, pencils. They be like, Coach, don't play with me.
Right.
I want you to bring it all the way real. I need my notes. Give me all the steps because I'm not doing this again and I'm not doing it wrong.
Right. And my hat's off to those of you that are single in 2019. You know,
it's a different situation.
Some of the challenges that you guys face are definitely challenges.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so just being able to address, but I think it's great having a safe community where people can talk about their issues, even for the couples, being able to come together with like-minded people who are trying to get to the same place you're trying to get to, which is how to have healthy, functional relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to have a community of other people that are on that same path, that are able to support you, that are able to help you figure it out, help you walk through these things, has been beneficial. I know for us, we were lucky that when we were dating and early in our marriage, we were in a community that supported us. They gave us that support. Our community was a live community.
Yeah, it was
people that we were
social media.
But we had that in the early years of our marriage, and
it
when
made
we were
all
dating,
the difference.
it made all the difference in the world. Being able to have people to really talk to, because unfortunately, a lot of people still subscribe to that old adage: "What goes on in this house stays in this house."
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't help when you're going through challenges in your relationship. You have to have safe people that you can talk to, that you can get wisdom from, so you can get a different perspective as you're trying to grow your relationships.
Babe, one of the things, and so for those of you guys really quickly that want to know more about how you can join that, what's up, Jermaine? Good to see you. I appreciate you. Fort Pierce, Florida, representing in the building. We got to do an event in Florida.
Yes, we do.
Because we've got so many people. If you, all my Floridians, y'all need to figure out a way to get us to Florida. We need a place to go and a thing to do. We got the stuff. So y'all figure out the place. And I don't care if it's a club, if it's a restaurant, if it's a church. Like, get me a room where we can come set up shop and we can kick it and bring some of the stuff that we're doing here. I really want to get out more and more live next year in 2020. And Florida is a greater place as any. So I just want to let y'all know.
Just not during hurricane
season. Definitely not during hurricane season. We ain't messing with y'all. So I don't know how y'all do that. But anyway, babe, I want to drill down. So for those of you guys, real quick, before I forget, you want to know more about that Relationship Academy, with all what Cherie was just talking about, go to www.thecrcoach.com. And that's where you can find out more information about how to join it. There will be a link that says schedule a free discovery session. So you want to click that. That will enable you to set up a quick meeting, 15 minutes with myself, Most likely it's going to be with me. And we'll just drill down on how we can help you. What are your specific needs? Are we even a fit? And that's totally free to do. I just want to figure out how do we connect with you guys, and is there something that we can do to add value? But babe, speaking of adding value, I want to pick up where we left off last week. Mm-hmm. And we got a bunch of ones in the chat. A bunch of people were here for last week, but we got some twos that showed up as well. So I want to recap just a little bit for people who weren't here. So we've been talking about the things that Cherie and I did, not thought about, not talked about, not wished, not prayed about, but things that we did in order to have the relationship that we have today. We're coming up on 21 years in a row. The statistics say that the third time around, more than 70% of marriages are ending in divorce.
Right, and this is my third marriage.
So this is Cherie's third marriage, my second, and the statistics are saying that more than 60% of second marriages end in divorce. And so statistically, we shouldn't be here, if that makes any sense. Now, all my believers will say, but God. Yeah, that's true. But God and work.
Right.
Let me just put that in the chat. But God and work. Because here's what I always submit to people. We knew God before we knew each other, right? Some of us knew God a little bit closer, which I should be even more ashamed of myself that I didn't know how to navigate.
I know him in my second marriage.
Yeah, you did know God then. I'm messing with Cherie. That's a whole inside joke. But the point I'm making is, guys, is that it's one thing to know God. It's another thing to know how to navigate a relationship. That takes work, right? And I hear these people say this all the time, and my heart kind of grieves a little bit because I get the impression, babe, that when people go in, all you need is God. I agree with that. You can't get me to disagree with that. But the problem with that is if you have a mindset that says all I need is God or all I need is Jesus and it will work out, the sad truth is that that's not enough. You have to know how to do something.
Right.
And that takes work.
Right. And that's one thing that often believers get confused is that, you believe, you pray and you believe, but the scripture tells you faith without works
is what, guys?
Is dead. Without
what?
Works.
Works.
Without works. Hard work.
Right.
Hard
work. Right. Marriage is hard work. However, the return on that investment is priceless.
Right. So in any relationship, it takes work. You can pray about it. With your children, you can pray over them. You can douse them with oil. You can do whatever, chant.
All that.
Sage, do whatever you're doing.
Whatever.
But if you ain't doing no work.
Right.
If you're not doing the work on yourself, learning the tools, the skills that you need to know to be able to be a better parent, you're not going to be a better parent.
Exactly. So a couple quick three things, because we're going to move on from here. And I want to drill down on something particularly that I'm really excited about it because we talk a lot about this thing that we're going to deal with today.
I'm noticing that we got the lights in the top. We got the cameras too high.
I like the lights on the top.
Okay.
Yeah, I want that.
It just seems distracting to me.
No, I got you, but I want it because of the way it illuminates that background, and it was dark before. Okay. But I appreciate your suggestion, babe. I did that on purpose.
Okay, now back to the regularly scheduled
program. Back to our regularly scheduled program, already in progress. Tiara, you see how we did that? You see how we just did that move, did that thing? Communication, girlfriend. I'm telling you. We've been working on this for 20 years, and so normally I would have got upset. Like, how you going to interrupt me? I was in my flow. Like, what's that all about? And you'll see that face. Anyway, so let me go back real quick, babe, because people are getting upset. They're like, I need this information. Stop playing with me, Glenn Brooks. So here's what I want y'all to know.
I think they like us arguing.
You think they like us fussing?
They get to see that this is real.
If y'all like it with...
it just happens.
If y'all like our randomness, put a thumbs up in the chat. If you don't like our randomness, put a thumbs down. And so we'll take a poll on this and see. Anyway, last week, babe, we talked about 3 specific things that we did in order to get to the place that we have the relationship that we always wanted. And I want to preface that by saying it's not perfect.
Right.
A lot of people think that you're striving towards perfection. Stop that.
You're never going to be perfect.
You're never going to be perfect. However, let me say it this way. Don't stop striving for perfection. Stop trying to be a perfectionist.
Right.
Those are 2 different things. Right. I should say it that way. The reason why is because perfectionism is really, first of all, it's relative. So what's perfect for you and what's perfect for someone else is different. Right. Secondly, I think it's more of an attitude than a place, right? It's an attitude. An attitude of excellence is a great thing. I don't know if you'll ever achieve complete excellence or complete perfection on anything on this side of heaven. And the reason why is because we're all human. We're all subject to error. So what I want you to do is strive towards these things. And there was one thing that we recognize is that we may not have a perfect relationship, but it is possible, listen to me carefully, to have a losing season and still win the championship. To have losses throughout the season and still win the championship. Right. Now you're not going to have a losing season and make the playoffs. Right. That's not happening.
But you can come back the next year.
You can come back next year, but I'm talking.
Rebuild.
You can't. But however, what I am saying, guys, and I just want to make sure I clarify that, Cherie, is before you start getting funny.
I'm not. I just was thinking about a particular team that really needs to rebuild.
Well, see, now you're going random on me. I'm not messing with you. I'm trying to get to these 3 points.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Look, she is in straight flamingo mode.
It woke up this morning.
And I'm in my turtle mode, and that's role reversal this morning. What's that about?
I don't know. We need to get some little flamingos, have them dance around.
Right, dancing on the dancing on the screen. So people are saying thumbs up. They like our randomness. So okay, awesome. So guys, listen. Put 3 things in the chat. 3 things. This will be a recap for some. This will be revelation for others. 3 things. Put it in the chat. 3 things that Cherie and I did to get the relationship that we always wanted, which is a relationship that's not perfect, that's working.
Teresa ain't messing with
I'm not messing with Cherie. I'm not messing with Cherie, and I'm not reading Teresa's comments. I'm looking right at the camera. Z, I'm looking at Tony. Look, Tony, I know it's a flamingo party. I'm not messing with that flamingo. She gonna get me off course today, Tony. I'm not playing with her.
She don't come out to play often.
She doesn't, but she comes out to play while we're on the show.
But they like it.
But we can't get nothing done.
Okay. All right.
Help me, Jesus.
Okay, so the 3 things.
What are the 3 things?
Read that, Mr.
God help us.
The 3 things we did to have the relationship that we.
I heard this is your phone.
I turned it down. Okay. To have the relationship that we wanted.
See, there you go.
That we always wanted to have. Number one is that we realized we had to grow up. We had to grow up emotionally.
Yes.
We had to work on our own emotional intelligence and be able to gain a better understanding of ourselves emotionally. The second thing was that we invested. We invested in each other. That we took the time to get to know each other, to get to understand each other, and do the work so that we would know how to interact with each other. So that was communication. That was learning each other's love languages. It was, learning, I had to learn how men think, how they operate, how they process. He had to do the same thing with women. So we took the time to invest in each other so that we could grow. Before
you continue on, because you're in full flamingo vent and you're running right through the list, I want to slow down for a second. When we talk about grew up emotionally, it is significantly important, guys, for you to understand that without a certain level of emotional intelligence in your relationship, it's going to shipwreck. And the reason why is because relationships are emotional, right? But the problem is that most of us live in our feelings. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. When you live in your feelings, you do not navigate relationships well. And the reason why is because feelings change. They change just like the wind. If you woke up upset today and then all of a sudden you go down to the mailbox and found out that you just won a sweepstakes and you won $1 million, all of a sudden your entire mood just changed. Your feelings just changed. Well, if you built your life on feelings, you'd be all over the place all the time. So the problem is that we've got to get that in check. And one of the ways you do that is you do the work that it takes to grow your emotional intelligence. And right now, we're taking all of our coaching communities through a book that's helping them to do just that. And we're talking about it together, and we're actually giving them scenarios. We're role playing. We're going to do a lot of that kind of stuff at this workshop that we got coming up this weekend. And I'm telling you right now, that is a game changer. When you talk about investing, which is number 2, we invest in each other. I realized when I married you, I was completely selfish. I was completely self-centered, and I was not about to invest in anybody but me. Mm-hmm. And as a result of that, coming to that conclusion in our marriage, I believe, changed my perspective from me to you and then to us. And that helped us make it further and quicker than I ever had before.
Right, and I think you came to that revelation before we got married, but you were still working on it after we got married. Because there were still some areas that you had to grow in once we got married, but I think you had come to some realization that you were selfish before we got married, and you had started working. I mean, because there were things that even when we were dating, there were signs that, I mean, because if you had been completely selfish when we were dating, we wouldn't have got married.
Right.
Right. So,
right.
But you were working on it, and it was a work in progress, and I saw you were trying to grow in that area. You were aware of it.
Got it.
In some cases, I mean, some cases you weren't. I talked about last week how we would go to the gas station.
Oh yeah.
And you would just go.
Let's not tell that story again, dear Jesus. That makes me feel so bad, guys. I was so selfish. I will say this real quick that I would not think past me. So I remember what she's talking about. I remember that happened a lot previous to you. Mm-hmm. I remember a girl I was dating at one point. She was like, Glenn, it's amazing how you think of no one outside of you. So I knew that coming in, but I had not realized it. So by the time you and I connected, I'm at the gas station. I'm going in. I pump to get the gas. While I'm going to pay for the gas, I'm going to buy some snacks for me. And I'm coming out snacking on chips, drinking my little Gatorade or whatever, pumping the gas. Then I get in the car and they looking at me, the three of them, her and the kids, like, we're ours. Like, we don't have none. And I'm like, why y'all looking at me like that? You see how she looking at me right now?
Now, side note for my singles, especially my single ladies, if you're in a situation like that, speak up and say what's on your mind. Don't hold that in and be like, oh, nothing.
I'm good.
And then you have an attitude. No, tell them, because oftentimes what I realized with Glenn, he was not consciously doing this on purpose.
Right.
But he was so accustomed to only thinking about himself.
Right.
So it was in my saying, so you really just went in the store and got you something and didn't even ask us, did we want anything?
I'm like,
that was selfish. And I'd had to label it what it was.
Right. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, but I didn't do that on purpose. I just, now you have to understand, guys, I'm a flamingo. What's up, XO born 7XO? Who is that on Instagram? I think I know, but I'm not going to put myself all the way out there and be wrong.
Give us your government name.
Drop your government name. I'm excited that you're here. Here's the deal. I didn't realize that, y'all. I honestly thought, see, I'm a flamingo by temperament. And for those of you guys who hear us talk about these animals, there are 4 basic temperaments in every human being. And we call them or characterize them by animals in order to understand the qualities or the characteristics that they are. You have a lion, you have a flamingo, you have a chameleon, and you have a turtle. If you want to know what you are and what percentage you are, do me a favor, go to our website and you can sign up to take the assessment.
And it's the W2J personality assessment.
It's called the Welcome to the Jungle Personality Assessment. You click that link and you go there.
Right. Now, that assessment, there's a charge for that assessment. Now, don't get that confused with the free discovery session. The free discovery session is for you to sign, for us to be able to sit down and talk to you to see if you're fit for the group, if we can help you. But if you want to learn about your personality, if you want to take that personality assessment, make sure you click on the link for the personality
there's
assessment.
A charge with it, because what we're going to do is we're going to do a debrief with you, an online debrief where we're going to go through that assessment and literally teach you and overlay and tell you how you can use that stuff. So back to my story. As a flamingo, flamingos are highly sociable. They're highly, they're gregarious. They're highly spontaneous. They love running in packs. Those are the people that walk in the room mouth first. Those are the people that they love attention, right? By nature and by temperament. It's not what they're not necessarily egotistical or narcissistic. That's a different story. You don't have to be a flamingo to be those things, but flamingos come across that way because of our temperament and our nature. Well, when I walk into the gas station to buy my gas, when I got out of the car, I was not thinking about chips. I wasn't thinking about a drink. I wasn't thinking about some cashews. I wasn't thinking about none of that. I wasn't thinking, oh my God, we're at 7-Eleven. I'm going to get gas and I'm going to get stuff as we're pulling up to the gas station. I'm not thinking like that. It's not until I walk in the store to get the gas, and this is why they make convenience stores for people like me. I wasn't even thinking about that until I saw it. And now what happens is, because I'm selfish, it has nothing to do with being a flamingo, but I'm selfish. So at this point, now instead of thinking, oh, there's a group of people in my car, they are called my family, I'm sure they may want something too. Now, the unselfish person would do one or two things. They would either stop what they're doing, go out, ask, hey guys, do y'all want anything? What do you want? Two, they may call back and ask that question. Or three, they just may buy up a bunch of stuff and y'all pick based upon, because I was just in there, I made a quick decision. And I said, well, noted I did none of the above. Your man comes out because, and we're talking with a bag.
Bag of stuff.
A bag.
For him.
For me. So I'm telling y'all that when I recognize that those things were crazy.
Much. I'm so proud
I am so, can I have a hug just because this? Yeah, because I'm telling you right now, I just grew up. What I'm saying is that number one, we said that we grew up. Number two, we said we learned how to invest in each other. So I learned about that temperament. I learned about my personality. I learned about all those things so that I can invest in you.
Right.
And so number three, real quick, we learned how to speak truth in love. I need y'all to hear that.
Love.
Guys, especially if you're a lion, or even a turtle for that matter, because turtles are very results oriented, just like lions. They're just introverted. That's all. A lion is extroverted, but they can be snappy, especially if you push them in the corner. Mm-hmm. So the truth of the matter is, I don't know why that keeps doing that. The truth of the matter is this, guys, is that we learned how to speak the truth, but package it in love. And what happens when you do that, it's a really neat thing. The communication, the line of communication gets received. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's just be dead real, and we're going to get into this, and we're going to spend a few minutes on this. When you show up and you don't know how to communicate, the problem is the message that you have in your heart, the message that you're trying to share, the thing that you're trying to get across doesn't get communicated well because your skill set is off. Mm-hmm. You don't have the kind of skills that it takes in order to be able to connect. And so for me, when I learned how to speak truth in love, I learned how to package things in a way that it got received. The only reason that you bother to have a conversation with somebody is that they would receive what it is that you're saying. Right. So I need y'all to understand those three things. Number one, we grew up. Number two, we invested. Number three, we spoke truth. And we gave a bonus last week. We said that we found a tribe.
Right. I think having a community is necessary. I talked about this a little bit earlier. I think having a community of like-minded people that are trying to go the same place you're going, whether this is in any area in your life, whether it's relationships, whether it's business or whatever. You want to surround your people that are where you want to go or that are going where you want to go, mm-hmm. So that they can provide you support, so that they can give you a different perspective. The thing you have to realize in life, our perspective is our perspective. Yeah. We only see but so much. And so you need other people
that's why it's called your perspective.
Right.
It's unique to you.
Right. You need other people that can peer into your life, that can point out your blind spots, because just like when you're driving down the road, there's a blind spot.
Absolutely.
You can't see that.
Absolutely.
And so that's why you have mirrors. That's why you have, you may have a passenger in the car be like, hey, can I get over? But if you're going through life, just you, no mirrors, you ain't got no rear view mirror, you ain't got no side mirrors. All you're seeing is what's directly in front of you. You don't get to see everything mm-hmm. around you. And so that's why you need a community. That's why you need a tribe. And it's essential if you want to have healthy relationships.
So I want to talk about where we're going today. Thank you, IG, for those of you guys who are just jumping in the room. Good to see you. Make sure y'all do us a favor. Go to the link in the bio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're here every Saturday morning, 8 a.m., Breakfast with the Brookses with Cherie and I, coaching people who are trying to grow their relationships intentionally. Go to the link in the bio. That will help you understand. We certainly appreciate you being here today. Do me a favor. Hit the arrow at the bottom of the screen and share that out. YouTube, you guys do the same. Y'all share this out any way you can so that we can help as many people as possible. I want to deal with a statement. I did some research on what singles dislike about dating. And I want to use this statement to set this next piece up that we're going to talk about in terms of the things that we did, Cherie and I, in order to be able to accomplish or build the kind of relationship that we want. The statement is from Jenny. She's 28. And the heading says, I don't like how we judge each other. I'm going to read this really quickly. This is Jenny from New York saying, I feel like with dating apps and our busy lives, at least in New York City, we're not really taking the time to get to know each other. I get it. No one wants to waste their precious time. But I think we're making judgments way too quickly on first dates and online. From ridiculous deal breakers to the way we analyze text messages, I feel like we're not really giving people fair chances. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because I'm thinking I remember when our daughter was in college. And I honestly believe I didn't think my daughter was ever going to get married.
Right. Me neither.
I'm like, she's never going to get married.
She was way hard on people.
She was very, very, very harsh. She would date a person one time, and it's like they'd say one thing off. She'd be like, oh, they're cut.
They're done. Not doing it.
Not doing it. Now, for her, I will say this. She was so focused on getting through school. That was her focus.
Yeah.
So she didn't have time for no distractions, for real.
Yeah. And that just kind of supported that.
Right,
the fact that you said something stupid.
Like, I ain't got time for this.
Yeah, because I got this term paper that really needs more of my time anyway.
Right. But I think that's true what Jenny says, is that oftentimes we're so super critical that, it don't take much for us to be like, he got on, his shoestrings ain't tied right. He laced them wrong. I can't deal with it.
Right.
It's like, now, on the flip side of that, there are some of us that see red flags, that see things that we should acknowledge, that should be deal breakers, that we don't acknowledge. So there, you got two sides of that coin. You got the people that are so super critical that, he's 5 minutes late for the first date. He comes in, he's like, hey, I got caught in traffic. And you're like, you should have left an hour earlier. So you would have been here, got me waiting.
You're bad.
You're bad. That's all right. You won't be doing this again.
Here's what you don't know.
It's like you extend no grace whatsoever. But then you have the person that he shows up and, y'all at dinner and another person comes up. It's something really overt that happens. And you're just like, oh.
Exactly.
I'm not going to say nothing about that.
Well, one of the things that I want to set up, and the reason why I picked this particular subject matter, babe, is because I think this leads to something that's super critical, particularly for singles. We talk a lot about this in our singles group coaching room in our MAPS Relationship Academy, and that is, I honestly believe that people make lifelong decisions based upon what they like and not what they value.
Right.
Put that in the chat. Like versus value. What's up, Coach Rice? Good to see you. Guys, listen to me super, super clear and very carefully. I want y'all to slow down for a second. We're not going to be that much longer. And we're going to pick this up next week. But there is a significant difference between what people like versus what they value. Let me give you a quick example. When I'm 20, there are things that I like that will change, guaranteed, by the time I'm 30. The kind of music I like at 20 is not the kind of music I like at 30.
Right.
The kind of food I like at 20 is not the kind of may change by the time I'm 30. The kind of activities that I like to do may change by the time I'm 30. 10 years later, they may change. Here's the problem. If you're 20, like we were, and you get involved in a relationship based upon what you like in them, here's what I'm going to promise you. By year 3, you're going to watch some evolution begin to take place.
Right.
By year 5, it will blow up into full-blown change. And by year 10 into that relationship, if you make it that long, they will look very different than the person you married. Here's the problem. If you marry the person, if you get involved in a long-term relationship with a person based upon what you like, you're setting yourself up because likes tend and more often than not will change.
Right. And so you can't base, have a like as the foundation for your relationship, because this is where we hear this often, well, they're not the same anymore. They changed on me. It's like, okay, so people are supposed to change, number one, because they're supposed to grow. We're supposed to evolve. And so change is not a bad thing. But if that's the foundation of your relationship, that one thing.
Yep.
So I was a size 6 when we got married. If Glenn liked that, if he held on to that, and that was the foundation of our relationship.
I need you to preach that, baby girl.
When I'm no longer a 6.
Come on,
so now I done changed. So now I'm not the same person.
Right.
So now you just throw me away. Because now I'm not the same.
Right.
Or even,
Woo,
I like go-go music.
Come on now.
But as I've grown, I've
Wind
been exposed to
Chuck.
other things.
Wind me up,
I've
Chuck.
been exposed to other things, and now my taste for music is different.
Translation,
so
she got culture.
I'd like to go see an opera.
Right.
And he's like, well, I mean, you changing on me.
You changing on me.
You bougie now.
Oh,
like,
so now you bougie.
Like, no, I've grown. I've evolved.
So here's why I'm saying this, and I'm making light of this, and we're going to get into this and drill a little deeper probably next week. But I need you, singles, listen to me. If you're dating, listen to me. If you're engaged, listen to me. I need you to focus on what you value. Now, here's the problem. We have people in our coaching community who are super educated, right? Super educated. We have several people who have PhDs in our group coaching platform, right? Which I think is amazing because I ain't got one credit hour of any college anywhere. I just have grown and done what I've done, and God has been, I feel like I'm always the dumbest guy in the room. Like, right? So, but at any rate, obviously, there's a need for them to come into this community because everybody needs people. Here's one of the things that I recognize. Intellectually, listen to me carefully, guys, we know what we know intellectually. So you may have a great idea on what it is that you think you value or think you like. Here's the problem. When you come into a community of people who think differently than you do, when you're exposed to different perspectives, people who are maybe further along in a particular area than you are, you're going to also get exposed to certain points of view that will challenge your thinking. Now, the neat thing about a group or a tribe is that you're coming into this with the idea of welcoming other people's perspectives. I want someone to be able to see into my blind spot, but I'm also giving them permission to speak into my blind spot. Well, when that happens, Cherie, a light bulb goes off. Now you begin to see with great illumination what it is that you value. And let me give you an example. When I first met Cherie, I didn't realize that one of Cherie's highest values was integrity. She valued integrity. I need y'all to hear this. I did not value integrity like that. It was something that was on my list. It just definitely wasn't number one. As a result, when you deal with a person, listen to me, guys, that values something like integrity, there are certain things that register in their mind that they begin to make certain kinds of judgments based upon what they value. So now we're out and about. We're late for an event. I see that there's a handicapped space, and I just decide I'm going to park in it, right? It's no big deal. It was vacant. I get out, and now we're already late. Miss Integrity, who values that, will say, wait a minute. You can't park in a handicapped spot. That's illegal. It's like, nah, I'm good. I got the hookup. I know the guy. He ain't going to tow us. It's cool. No. You don't understand. That's not integrous. First of all, I ain't never heard that word. I told y'all, your man ain't gone to college. Like, so you got to be playing with me.
It's okay.
But the problem is that I've now stepped on her value, guys.
Right.
And here's the challenge. Maybe we're new in the relationship and she lets it go. Okay. All right. Since you got the hookup, the guy's going to be paying attention and he ain't going to tow us, that sort of thing. See, the issue is not that we're going to get our car towed. That's not the issue for a person that values integrity.
Right.
The issue is that you're wrong.
Right.
And you won't acknowledge it.
Right.
The problem is that on the first date, she may let that go. He may let that go. But by the time you move closer and closer, that is building up. And so now, if you push past what it is that you really value, because maybe you think you tripping, maybe the person is a stronger personality than you, and you're thinking, maybe I'm a little bit too much. And you can insert whatever the value is. And you back off of what you value because you don't really know.
Right. And that's the key. I think
there is going to be a problem.
I think most people don't really know what it is that they value.
Yeah.
You know what you like. You know that there are certain things that are important to you, but you don't really know what you value. And so in the math community, we take people through an assessment where they're able to learn. It's an exercise where you're able to determine what are the things that you truly value. And that has proved invaluable for everybody that's done it because it now helps you to hone in, especially for our singles, when you're dating a person. you guys' values need to line up. Now, they don't have to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
But they need to be comparable.
I want you to put mutualism in the chat. Put mutualism in the chat.
Right. So
your values are not necessarily have to be the exact same, but you must share mutual values.
Right. So my values, my number one values are family, integrity. Those are my top two.
Yeah, let's just start there because she could
keep going.
Yeah,
so family and
let's
integrity.
Just give
so
because that's gonna mess people up by itself.
My number one is family. So Glenn's number one is not family.
Right.
But teamwork is one of his, and so teamwork means you working together as a community, means relationships.
Right.
So that is comparable to family in a lot of ways. It's not exactly the same, but it's comparable, and so because of that, we're able to mesh together well because he understands that my number one value is family.
Right.
His being teamwork means that he wants to work together. He wants to be a part of a team. And so the way that we, in our relationship, our family is a team.
Yeah.
We look at our family as a team.
Exactly.
We approach everything family as a team. And that way he gets on board. He's able to support it. I still get my family value fulfilled.
Yes, that's a great way to put that.
And we're able to work along together.
Yeah. So next week when we get, and we're a little bit over, hey, what's going on, Pino? Good to see you jumping in. Miss Sarah Pino just chimed in. Good to see you, sweetie. One of the things I want to say, next week we're going to kind of drill down and talk a little bit about likes versus value, and are you sure?
Right.
There are certain assessments and things that, and there's a ton of things out there. I love going through assessments and that sort of stuff in a team environment because it opens you up to things that you just had not considered.
Right.
And so tune in next week. We're going to kind of pick this conversation up and we're going to drill down a little bit on what it means to really, really build your value awareness. I just made that up. But your value awareness. If there's self-awareness, I think there's a value awareness.
Right.
Where you really come into the relationship clear. Now, here's what I will tell you. If you are super aware of what you value, you will pick differently. Mm-hmm. I need y'all to hear that. Tony, I need y'all to hear that, bro. If I'm super clear on what it is that I value, I will pick differently. So when we start asking the question, how do you pick a partner permanently? You get super clear on what you value.
Right.
So now your prism of how you perceive stuff is very, very different and it's honed in. And so now you start picking stuff up. Now, in this culture, some would consider that, quote, judgy. Let me help you understand. This is your life we talking about.
Right.
You better judge.
Right, right.
Listen to me carefully. I don't want you judging me. That's some bull crap.
Right, right.
This is your life we talking about. And the last time I checked, marriage is a covenant. And it's designed to last forever.
Right.
Why would I make a decision forever based upon something I like or based upon something I've not judged properly?
Right, because just because they're a Redskin fan and you're a Cowboy fan doesn't mean that you guys don't share the same value. So don't allow superficial things, those
Lord Jesus, that's
things
good stuff,
to cause you to cut a person off.
Right.
When you guys could share the same values and it could be a really good fit. And so what happens realistically is people look at things like that and say, oh, I ain't messing with him.
I ain't fooling with him.
Oh, blue his favorite color. I ain't messing with him. Whatever. And it's like, really take the time to get to know them a little bit, to understand what their values are, to determine that. Like for me, I know one thing for me in the past before Glenn, I always had this mental thing. I was like, I'm not dating nobody with kids, even though I had a child.
Right.
But as I grew and as I
that's
grew up,
crazy sounding when you even think about it.
Right. As I grew up, I realized that should not be necessarily a deal breaker.
Right.
And so, and had I allowed that to be a deal breaker, we would not be together because
Correct.
Glenn he had a son.
Right.
And so, but if I had been so fixated on that, and as I got to know my value, I realized family is my value. So why would that be an issue for me?
Right. Guys, we're going to have to jump out of here. I just want to let y'all know. Appreciate y'all for showing up. IG, thank you so much. Do me a favor. Share this out. Tony said definitely need that likes versus values. Looking forward to next week. Appreciate that, Tony. Listen, guys, do me a huge favor. Go to the website. Click the link to see if you can sign up for a free discovery session if you want to figure out how to get and be in and be a part of the MAPS community. If you want to take the personality assessment, click on Get Your Assessment Now, and then take that. Now, there is a cost for it, but it comes with a 30-minute debrief with myself, and I'm going to walk you through how to take that information and use it to your benefit in your relationships, on the job, you name it. That information will be able to really, really help you significantly. We got to jump out of here, guys. As always, it's a super honor and pleasure to be able to hook up and hang out with you guys for a little bit. I hope this blessed you. I hope it helped. If it did, put it in the chat. It helped me. Put a takeaway in the chat. We always are looking for feedback, not to stroke our egos, but to also understand, are we hitting on the pain points, and are we delivering the content that it is that you guys really, really need to hear and grow?
At the end of the day,
well, what do we know to be true?
We all need some help.
Y'all be good.
Saturday, guys.
We'll talk soon.